Hey, what's up, guys? This is Mike Hudak with the GFY Social Club, and today's episode is brought to you by Anchor.fm. Now, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain it to you. First off, it's free, which is pretty awesome, right? They actually have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast straight from your phone or computer, which is pretty badass if you're just starting out. Then what they do is they'll actually distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on places like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. The best part about it is, guys, is you can actually make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Isn't that awesome? I love that. We loved that when we were first starting out. It was pretty sweet. It really is everything that you need to make a podcast all in one place. So here's what I want you guys to do. Go ahead and download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor.fm to get started. You need to do that today. I guarantee you guys are going to love it. We trust it here at the GFY Social Club. It's Anchor.fm. Anchor.fm to get started. Download the free Anchor app. Get your podcast going. And I got to tell you, if anybody tells you that Anchor.fm is not the place to go to get your podcast started, well, like we say here in the clubhouse, tell them to go themselves. That's right. Anchor.fm.
Free socks.
Warning, the views and opinions expressed on the GFY Social Club podcast are solely that of the host and people with a sense of humor. It is intended for purposes of entertainment. Although we do not aim to offend, if you do find yourself offended at any portion of content during this show, the GFY Social Club would like to sincerely tell you to
go yourself.
Oh yeah, that's right, it's episode 8, it's Fucked Up Friday. It's July 4th weekend. That's right, we're here. GFY Social Club, at GFY Social Club, hashtag join the club. It is episode 8, guys. We're a day late on episode 8, but that's okay because we've got a good one lined up for you. We do. We definitely have a good show lined up for you. Craig is still out of commission because he's stuck in the south of the north, up in Maine. He's still on vacation. Can you believe that? Craig is taking a fucking vacation on us, and he is not hustling to get his ass back here into the club because he's got potatoes to worry about up there. Lobster rolls to eat, all that fun shit, right? But that's okay, because I've got a great co-host with me tonight. Very good friend of mine. He's joining me remotely from the Turn 2 Entertainment Studios here in just outside of Austin, Texas. It's going to be my very good friend, Mr. Shannon Muggrage. What's up, Shannon?
Not much. How's it going, man?
Good, man. Good. Shannon Muggrage is he's a comedian here in Austin, Texas. You know.
Well, no shit. What have we got here? A fucking comedian.
That's right. We got a fucking comedian. That's the only people I really know to put on the podcast. You know how it goes. But that's good because it makes things a little funnier. That's right. But like I said, we are here in the clubhouse here in lovely Austin, Texas.
Holy dog shit. Texas, only steers and queers come from Texas, private cowboy. And you don't much look like a steer to me, so that kind of narrows it down.
Every fucking show. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. God damn it. So what's up, Shannon? How you doing, man?
Not much, man. Just trying to make it through the apocalypse.
Trying to make it through the apocalypse. Yeah, I hear you, dude. Yeah. Everything's like shut down right now. This sucks. You know, I know you had a bunch of shows coming up, and then everything just had to get like kind of scrapped and canceled and repostponed and last minute and all that fun shit. And it's a real pain in the ass, man. It's a real pain in the ass.
Yeah. Now, the first shutdown, man, we had 7 shows a month we were running in Austin, and we were just starting an open mic.
Yep.
And things we're actually making a little bit of money off of comedy. I mean, it wasn't a lot, but it was enough to, kind of get your attention and then the shutdown happened, and then everything started opening back up a little bit. We had 2 venues that wanted to start again, and I started getting booked for more shows, and now everything's off again. So
it's all off. Yeah, that sucks, man. I mean, you're making money doing comedy. That's kind of unheard of in itself, you know. Because not making too much money on the local comedy scene. But but yeah, that sucks that everything got shut down. You and I were actually talking before when we were doing sound check and stuff and everything here. But you mentioned the. I mean, I can't believe that this is actually was gonna happen to begin with. But Vanilla Ice was gonna come to Austin and do a concert. Despite the COVID shit going on right now.
Yeah, they were going to have a capacity of 2,500, and what makes it even worse, man, it is not only that it was a Vanilla Ice concert. July 4th weekend, they're having Color Me Bad. It's like this booker is a fucking 90s fucking, like, this guy sucks. Whoever the fuck is booking out there, man, I bet he's a terrible person to hang out with.
Oh man, how long before he tries to dig up the corpse of Kurt Cobain and be like, hey man, Nirvana they're coming up next. Oh fucking hey, man.
Next announcement, you know, they got New Kids on the Block or something coming out there. I don't know.
Well, New Kids on the Block was just touring like last year or the year before that anyways. I don't know.
Oh, were they really?
Yeah, dude. Wow. Yeah.
I didn't know there was still a demand for that. I really did not know that.
I guess there was. I mean, you know, maybe what it was is that Donnie Wahlberg had to get out of the fucking house because he can't stand being around Jenny McCarthy any fucking more. Oh, man. As hot as she is, man, Jesus Christ, I can't even imagine having to live with her. Ooh.
Oh, no, dude. She's one of those... You know that old saying, no matter how hot she is, somebody's sick of her shit? Yeah. That's definitely where that saying came from, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I couldn't believe that, man. I saw you posted that up on your social media the other day, the Vanilla Ice thing. That was fucking hilarious, man. I was like, I can't believe fucking... Where'd you catch COVID? Ice, baby.
Yeah, exactly. As I was telling you, a buddy of mine posted that comment about, can you imagine being on a respirator, knowing it's your last moments and knowing you caught it at a Vanilla Ice concert?
Oh, God, man. I mean, what do you tell people at that point? Hey, man, I caught the Rona. I caught the COVID. Oh, shit, dude, where'd you get it? Fucking Vanilla Ice concert, bro. What? I don't know which is worse. The fact that you... What's worse? The fact that you got fucking coronavirus or you went to a fucking... Oh, Jesus, a Vanilla Ice concert. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude, whenever I mentioned Color Me Bad a little bit ago, whenever we were kids, Color Me Bad came to Odessa.
Yeah.
And my little brother, he's 2 years younger than me, he got a ticket to it. And I was like, yeah, I wouldn't be going around bragging about that, you know. And he fucking... One of the dudes from Color Me Bad threw a rose into the crowd, and my brother caught it, and he was so proud of this. And I'm like, dude, that's not something you should be proud of. He caught a rose at Color Me Bad. And he's straight. That's the thing. I mean, if he wasn't straight, then that'd be a whole different story. He's straight as they come. But he was excited as hell that he got a rose that Color Me Bad.
Yeah, well, Color Me Bad. Well, it's, you know what? I mean, could you imagine seeing that concert, Vanilla Ice, and with like Color Me Bad opening? I mean, that is just parachute pants heaven. Only if Vanilla Ice goes out and does his old school Vanilla Ice. Did you ever hear the Vanilla Ice record that he cut that was hardcore? It was like hardcore rock.
No, I haven't.
God. I mean, don't get me wrong. Ice Ice Baby as a hardcore rock song was actually pretty good because you still know the lyrics, but it's like he kind of screams a little bit of them, which is a little weird, you know. But yeah, I used to have that album, as embarrassing as that sounds, you know.
Oh yeah, well I can't say that I didn't. I mean, it was part of the zeitgeist at the time, man. It really was. All of us got a little older and realized how bad it sucked, and the fact that people still buy tickets to his concert just blows me the fuck away, man.
God damn it. I mean, that's almost as bad as like sitting there saying, hey man, did you have all the Limp Bizkit albums, and having to reply, yes. Yes, I did.
Well, well, it's funny you mentioned Limp Bizkit because I went to a few of their concerts here in Austin whenever they first came out. Mm-hmm. Like, they weren't even famous yet. And there was a place that used to be here called oh God, what was the name of it? I can picture it. I can't think of it. But it was down in the warehouse district. They used to have a whole bunch of music venues, and they tore them all down and put condos up.
Of course.
But Liberty Lunch, that's the name of the
Liberty
place.
Lunch.
And yeah, Liberty Lunch was awesome. It was a pure metal building. Like there was no insulation at all, and so you'd see a concert there, and you couldn't hear for a month.
Oh, of course.
But fucking Limp Bizkit was doing a show there, and they couldn't sell out. They were Fred Durst and all the members of Limp Bizkit were outside handing tickets to people. Come on in, check us out, man, check us out.
Papering it and fucking and screaming on the corner like they do for like some horrible like comedy club show where there's nobody that hey, live comedy.
They were outside barking for their own show.
Yeah,
so.
That's what it is, barking. Yeah, fucking A, man. That's funny as hell, man. Yeah, I remember. I am not proud to admit it, but I did have all 3 Limp Bizkit albums. Or was it 4? 4.
So did I.
Hey, man, they were the shit back in the fucking late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, exactly. They had their moment, man.
They did. So what else you got going on, man? Anything crazy? I know you said you got a new dog and everything like that. Are you a big animal guy?
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I love dogs, and we have 3 dogs and a cat. We have a 12-year-old Chihuahua and a 13-year-old cat, and we have a 2-year-old Black Lab pit mix.
Nice.
And then now today we just got us a baby Siberian Husky. She's 7 weeks old.
Yeah, she's adorable. That's awesome, man. Hell yeah.
She's a little shithead already. She's already feeling like she lives here, man. Already attacking my feet and everything else. So.
Oh, Jesus.
I got that from my dad. My dad was, I always call my dad the dog whisperer, man. That's where there could have been a dog that was ripping people to shreds, and my dad would have walked up and he'd have been sitting in his lap. You know, he was just that good with dogs.
Sure.
But
that's cool, man.
I don't remember a time growing up where we didn't have a dog. There was always a dog.
Always a dog. Yeah, I'm with you on the animal stuff, man. I do like animals, and I've got 3 dogs of my own. Obviously, you've met the dogs; they're fucking huge maniac dogs. But the Black Lab mix is all 3 of them. But it's funny. I was bringing up animals because we do news stories, as everybody knows that listens to this. All 3 of you that do listen to this podcast, we do news stories every episode, and it's not so much news stories of like real pressing issues. It's more just ridiculously stupid shit that we kind of find funny here in the clubhouse, because this is like a bar setting. You don't talk politics and you don't talk religion in a bar. And since we do have booze in our hands here today, I've got a bottle of Jaeger, a couple of beers in the studio here. I see Shannon's got a beverage of choice there. So we are going to continue to follow that rule. Shannon, this actually brings us to our first segment, which is news for the day. Yeah, animals. First story right out the bat has to do with animals. Shannon, I sent this one over to you because I figured this one would be a good one. This one cracked me up, especially with the climate of things that are going on right now in the world. This is a real fucking story, you guys. Okay, so the story is, headline is, and this comes from UPI. Headline is, police chase a zoo's escaped peacock through a New York neighborhood. This was so fucking stupid. So the story goes, police in New York ended up in an unusual chase when a peacock escaped through the Prospect Park Zoo and went for a run through Brooklyn. Okay. Now, the New York Police Department said it received a 911 call just before 6 a.m. Monday from a witness who reported a peacock running loose near Flatbush Avenue and Empire Boulevard. You ever been there? You ever been to New York?
No? I was just fixing. I've been to New York, but I've been anywhere around there. I was going to ask you how weird that would be to see something like that.
Well, it's funny because when police found the bird, it was actually spray painting a cab on a building. I don't know if you knew.
People would find that offensive.
Yeah. So witnesses said that the bird ran loose through traffic for about 15 minutes before being surrounded by police. Which is interesting because, they're defunding the police in New York right now by $1 billion. So, but nonetheless, the officers attempted to guide the peacock back to the sidewalk. I don't know if you know this, though, but the bird responded by throwing Molotov cocktails at the officers. Yes. No, I'm kidding. That's not what.
That's when I read that story. Like I said, it not being. We don't imagine New York cops doing that, but when I was in the Navy, there was a truck that crashed in Fort Worth, and it had a bunch of farm animals in it.
Oh,
and
shit.
I was on the ship, and the article that came out, everybody sent it to me because I was from Texas, but the cops in Fort Worth, they were riding horses and lassoing these things in the middle of traffic, like steer and all kinds of animals, and they even had pictures of them running through downtown Fort Worth, but it wasn't a big deal in Fort Worth. It was funny, but nobody really thought much of it. So when I read that, I was like, I wonder what the contrast would be with New York, with that kind of stuff happening, because I would think that would be completely different to where everybody would be like, okay, this is 2020, of course, Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I'm glad you mentioned the military stuff, because we are actually we're gonna, when we sit down and actually have the interview segment of our podcast tonight with you, that is one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, is the military service and stuff like that. So I'm glad you mentioned that, which is great. So but just so you guys know, before I do close this story out, the zoo has been closed since March amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Shocker. Do you think Vanilla Ice would play at that zoo? That is the sound. Yeah.
I'm working on that one.
If the zoo was closed as March, how did they get out then?
Yeah, right.
That doesn't add up, man. I would think that they would have at least somebody there. Why did they just leave them there by themselves, and the bird just got tired of hanging out?
I guess, I don't know. I mean, was the bird wearing? Was the peacock wearing one of those masks, like the Antifa masks, or that was a George Soros funded bird, is what we came down to. So
the George Soros funded.
That's right. So this next story, we kind of changed this one last minute. This one just fucking cracked me up, because if there was just a complete and total show of how stupid Alabama is. I don't know if you've ever been to Alabama, but it's Alabama, so naturally this is fucking dumb. Students in Alabama threw COVID parties to see who would get infected first, say officials. Shannon.
Yeah, that's...
Thoughts?
That's unreal. It really is, because when I read it too, they said that they invited someone that was positive.
Yes.
That way they would guarantee someone would catch it.
Yep.
And...
Yeah, so yeah, they're throwing COVID-19 parties. Yeah, I heard that too. What they were doing is they were actually these fucking idiot kids at of course it's Alabama, right? So they're throwing COVID parties, and they invite somebody that has COVID positive tested, right? And then they would have a pool, like a pot with money in it, and whoever was the first to officially catch COVID won the pot.
Yeah, was it enough to pay medical expenses?
I mean, does it? The tests are going for like $250 right now. So I mean,
yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, what do they just like subtract the $250 from the actual pot to pay for the test, or what? How the fuck does that work? Well, either way, yeah, this was so.
See, when I was growing up, the parties were the wristband parties.
Yes.
I never went to one, but at least that one makes.
Yeah. Those. Yeah, the old school fucking wristband parties. We used to throw when I was in high school. It sounds stupid. This is high school up in, go figure, Maine. But we used to throw parties out near the power lines. You know,
holy shit.
Yes, exactly. So you used to do the wristband parties. Explain that.
No. You saying you did or I did? I never went to one. That was just the big thing when I was a kid.
Yeah, that's
younger.
What I mean.
I guess they're younger.
Well, we've only got a couple of years on me, so it's not too much. But
yeah.
But yeah, we used to throw the power line parties, but we never had to worry about doing it during a pandemic and or fucking like literally like collecting a pot and whoever caught the disease.
Yeah. Right.
Only in Tuscaloosa.
That's it.
Right.
Yeah. See the big thing for us when I grew up out, deaths out in the desert, yes. In the oil fields, and we used to go out to the pump. You ever seen a pump jack?
Yeah. They have them all over the place here in Texas.
Yeah,
the old school oil.
We used to go to the pump. Yeah, we used to go to the pump jacks and have parties, and then, there's always one or two guys that get shit-faced drunk and climb on the pump jack and ride it. And that was always the
thing. That's like a carnival ride, but like you don't have to pay to get on.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and then I never had the balls to do it, man. I had a lot of friends that did it, but I just couldn't do it, man. Those things dip pretty far down, and when I get drunk, I get a little clumsy, man. I would have ended really bad.
Well, they go upside down, too. Like, you would have to really hang onto that shit.
Yeah, if you get on the wheel on the back, yeah.
Oh, man, only in West Texas and... That's insane, man. But good.
Yeah,
congratulations.
I don't know how did all that evolve to COVID parties, though? I mean, where did that get? I don't know who had. First of all, someone had the idea, and that means that he pitched it, and other people agreed. That's the worst part about it. Not one person said, "Hey, this isn't a good idea. I don't know about this, man."
Oh my God! Like, how fucking stupid are you?
Don't you understand, you dumb son of a bitch? Don't you understand?
Seriously, man. Fucking A. Leave it to Alabama. Roll Tide, right? Roll Tide.
Oh, yeah, Roll Tide, yeah.
Fucking morons. All right. Well, that brings us to our next story. As if 2020 was already not bad enough, this is today's Go Fuck Yourself story. That's right. Asian flying snakes. Asian flying. Yeah. Did you hear what I said? Asian flying snakes.
I'm a snake.
I have had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
Yes. 2020.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It seems like everything's coming from Asia. It's like that is the most terrifying place in the world, right? It used to be Australia.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now it's Asia. It's like, and it has nothing to do with race, nothing like that. It's just everything seems to be coming from that area.
It does.
Yeah.
It's like everything is coming from Asia, dude. Like,
Donald Trump don't trust China. China is asshole.
Yeah, I mean, it's so ridiculous. I mean, it was first it was the coronavirus, and then it was the Asian hornets, the murder hornets, the murder hornets. Now we've got Asian flying snakes.
And then there's also saying that there's a swine flu out there that might be picking up again.
Yes. God damn it, man. I mean, seriously, when is 2020 just going to fucking... it needs to end 6 months early. It really does.
Definitely. I agree. This is the one time I think it'd be okay to cancel a year.
Yeah, cancel the year. That's right. I'm with you on that one. Well, anyway, so we got these Asian flying snakes, and apparently they wriggle their bodies for stability. This is the story. This is from UPI. So researchers at Virginia Tech University, fuck the Hokies, I'm a Florida State fan, said they figured out why a species of flying snake native to Asia. That's right.
Donald Trump don't trust China. China is asshole.
They wriggle their bodies when they glide through the air for stability. What the fuck, dude? It's called the paradise tree snake. The paradise tree snake. There's nothing about that. Oh, paradise.
Yeah, no.
Cool. Tree snake. What the fuck? No.
Yeah, those are two words that do not belong together.
No, they don't. Jesus. Well, apparently, researchers did a lot of studies on them, and they didn't understand how they could fly and whatnot. Apparently, paradise tree snakes undulate in both horizontal and vertical waves while gliding through the air. Okay, this is Texas. Have you ever seen, and there's snakes everywhere here in Texas. I run into them on a regular basis. Have you ever seen an undulating snake?
I don't know. I never really stick around long enough to watch them. Like I said, going back to where I grew up, man, you got diamondback rattlers out there, man. I ran over one once that stretched across the entire road.
Yeah.
And he was just crossing the road, and I was driving, and I did not stop.
Did not stop. No.
And just kept
just run right over that son of a bitch.
Yeah, I'm not messing with that thing, man. That thing is longer than my car.
Seriously.
I have had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
And a flying fucking snake. And it's not... I can't even fucking deal with that. I don't even want to...
You know, it's gotten to the point that you can't even try to guess what's going to happen next.
No.
Because you come up with something just totally outrageous, and something will come out, and you'll be like, okay, I didn't do that.
Dude, it's almost like Florida man has fucking booked this entire year.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? Oh, God damn it. It's like one stupid fucking ridiculous thing after
Florida man, he lives in his van, he's Florida man.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking insane. I don't know, man. I'm ready for 2020 to get over with because it's just one fucking insane, ridiculously stupid thing after another.
And it started early too.
Yeah,
it's not like it's been going on for a while now. It's not like you can just say it's been a month or two. It's been enough time where you're like, yeah, fuck this year.
We're in fucking July, and the shit, it keeps coming, one hit after another. Like, what the fuck, man? This is getting stupid. Oh, God damn it. Well, here's a story, something a little bit lighter, I guess you could say. This is from UPI. Researchers develop a glove to translate American Sign Language. Did you see this one?
Yes. I thought that was pretty interesting. It kind of reminded me, you remember back the day Nintendo had the Power Glove?
Yes, the Power Glove. Yeah. That shit was awesome. Oh, that was fucking great.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess with the...
That's it. I was just going to say, when I read this story, that's the very first thing I thought it was Power Glove.
The Power Glove, yes. Well, this story actually, I guess a team of University of Cal, UCLA, UCal Los Angeles. I don't know why they wrote it in fucking long form here. It said, and just call it fucking UCLA, you dumbasses. Fucking hey, man. Like, we know what UCLA is. So I guess a team of scientists from UCLA announced that they have developed a glove that translates American Sign Language into speech in real time. You know sign language, like, what's the number one thing that everybody knows for sign language? The middle finger, right?
Right.
Doesn't everybody know how to isn't that the number one fucking sign language thing that you have?
Why can't you just go fuck yourself?
Exactly. Fucking hey, man. Jesus Christ. So one of the scientists, June Chen, right? Of course, smart as a fucking whip. He says, our hope is that this opens up an easy way for people who use sign language to communicate directly with non-signers without needing someone else to translate for them. As if we don't already have enough apps on our fucking phones.
You know, one thing I noticed in that article, they didn't mention the price, though.
Well, of course, why would they do that? Why would they offer the fucking price?
Oh, come on, kitten. I won't tell anyone.
Jesus Christ. So, I don't know, man. I can't even imagine what that's going to fucking cost. Why? It's like we're dipping back into the fucking late 80s, early 90s, right? Like you said with the Nintendo Power Glove, and now that the Power Glove could be used to fucking translate sign language so people could actually learn sign language. Go fucking figure. Jesus, man.
Is that one of those things, too, that if they say something that is offensive to me, like, oh, no, my glove was hacked.
That wasn't me wearing that glove. I swear.
Some people would find that offensive.
Yes, Jesus Christ, man.
It'd be cool to have one though, just to mess around with.
Yeah,
it'd be really cool.
Yeah. I mean, I'll never forget this story. One night when I was at Cap City, the lady did a great job, but she was I was thinking like Def Comics. I mean, I don't mean Def Comedy Jam, you fucking bastards, before you start thinking that. No, there was a comic there. She was blind. She was a blind comic, and she actually did really well. But
was it like Nancy Malloy?
I can't remember her name, but she was an older lady, but she did a really good job. And I was sitting there, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, holy shit! Like, I mean, how do you give her the light? You know what I mean? Oh God, it's like one of those things.
Some people would find that offensive.
Yeah, it's just one of those fucking things where it's like, God damn. I mean, it's really cool that she was up there doing it. Like I said, she actually did a really good job. But
I think you're talking about Nancy, and if you are, she is cool as shit, dude. She's so cool to hang.
I didn't get to meet her. Yeah, I didn't get to meet her, but she like I said, she did a really good job, and I was really impressed. And believe it or not, despite not being able to see a light, she pretty much stuck to her time. So I guess it's like she knew, so that's good. But I don't know, when I saw this sign language glove, that was one of the first, because my brain's weird anyways, and that was one of the first things I thought of. I was like, oh, can you imagine like a fucking like a blind, or not a blind, a deaf comic going up there and doing a set, right? And he can't even hear either how well or how horrible they're doing, you know. Right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. It was just fucking.
It's kind of like doing one of those Zoom shows.
Don't even fucking get me started on one of those things, man. God damn it!
Holy shit!
Exactly.
Nice execution. You're doing terrific.
Yes, that's what I say to fucking Zoom comedy.
I did one. Right when all this first started, I did one, and I had fun with it, man. We put a stage in front of in the living room, and I put my lights on.
Yeah, I remember the pictures.
Yeah, I looked like a cult leader. You know, it did not come across like I wanted. Like I planned this whole. Me and Amy planned this whole look, and then when I watched the replay, I was like, I should be passing out Kool-Aid.
Well, that's actually where I got the funny enough that you mentioned that's actually where I got the name for the GFY Social Club for this podcast. Is one of the first Zoom shows I did. I knew it was going to be like, oh, this is going to suck. Because it's so hard to do comedy, like a stand-up set when there's no audience, you know, and you're literally staring at a computer screen, and you've got other comics and maybe like 5 or 10 other people that are not comics that are in there, and you can hear a couple of chuckles. Yeah. Well, it's still better than Mr. Tramps, but it's just personal opinion. But no, like it's just really hard. So I was like, I went into one of them where I was like, okay, I'm going to make this look as stupid and as bad as possible, which in my eyes I thought would be like kind of just, I mean, it's funny to me. So I had this dry erase board. And I just drew big letters GFY on the dry erase board. And I was like, this is a comedy club, so I'm going to say this is the GFY Comedy Club. And I hung this horrible looking fucking dry erase board with like handwriting on it up behind like it was the Moon Tower Comedy Festival logo, right? Nice. And and I was like, okay, this is how we're gonna do this. And then I did it, and of course, because I was hammered and I don't remember most of it, but I did see the pictures and I saw a couple of video clips that the girlfriend took during the show while we were recording it, and I was like, yeah, this is fucking horrible. But that was my personal opinion on those fucking Zoom shows. You know, like they were fun for what they were, but it's still one of those things that's just really fucking hard to do. So
Yeah, I've seen a few comics now that are doing those virtual shows, and those look pretty cool, man. You actually
where they have like a stage.
You actually have avatars in the crowd that you can hear them laughing and everything else.
Yeah. I haven't seen any of them. I've seen the advertisements for them and stuff like that. I think a couple of old friend of ours from New York are doing those up there right now. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Those look actually really cool.
I had a friend that did one recently, man, and I asked about the headset because I just one of the ones you plug the phone into the headset. He's like, "Oh no, that's a computer and a headset, man. That thing's like $500." And then, I'm gonna have to get a second stimulus before I do that one.
Right.
And then, man, there's some motorcycles going by. Let me.
All right. Fucking. Are they flying Confederate flags? Are they flying Confederate flags?
No, they were crotch rockets, man. They're not.
Those aren't motorcycles.
No, I know. I grew up around Harleys and biker clubs.
I was gonna say those.
Like they had a Honda that they took, a Honda Goldwing, and they all got shit-faced drunk, and they smashed it with sledgehammers into this big pile of metal that didn't look like a bike anymore, and it was hung up in the clubhouse of biker club.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
They're kind of rough.
Oh yeah,
they're all my uncles, though, so I didn't really have to worry about too much in high school.
All right. Well, I guess that's going to bring us to our last news story of the day, and this is definitely one to go out on. Now, Shannon, I know you have long hair, and I'm sure you get accused of this all the time, of being kind of a hippie, right? You get accused of being a hippie.
I tell people all the time, I'm not a hippie. I shower every day.
Exactly. Well, it's funny you mention that because people who don't shower every day are typically fans of this band. It's called the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
And they have released a line of vegan deodorant. That's right.
Yeah, that is... Dude... That's like the same as a paradise tree snake. It just doesn't sound right.
It doesn't sound right at all, right? So, what do you suppose a true deadhead smells like? If you were to guess. Sweat, beer, patchouli, maybe a little too much weed.
They smell like pot years of regret.
How about rose, lavender, and juniper? I was going to say depression and body odor, personally. Right? Well, I guess what happened is in collaboration with North Coast Organics, the Grateful Dead have launched a line of vegan deodorant. Yeah, deodorant. The smelliest fucking motherfuckers on the planet have released a line of deodorants.
Maybe they should have started with a shower line.
Yeah, dude,
let's start there first.
Basic. This is Irish Spring soap. Use it daily.
Just change the name. Just change the name. To something hippie, and they'll buy it. I mean, and just slap an organic sticker on it. They're all about it. So.
That's nasty.
Jesus, right? God damn it. Well, I guess so. Shannon, I guess what happened is the band's iconic Thunderbolt on the packaging, of course, right? Because it's the Dead. It comes in 5 different scents. Yeah. Skull and Roses. Okay. Which is lavender and rose. Sunshine, which is blood orange and bergamot. Working Man's. Cedarwood and juniper. How is it? How working man? Most of them don't even have fucking jobs.
I was just fixing to say that. They had every name to choose from. They chose working man. Come on.
Like, what the fuck, dude? Timber, which is another one. It's Douglas fir and sage. And then, of course, their top-selling one, Deadhead dog shit. That's right. That's right. Deadhead dog shit. Because you know what? That's what they fucking smell like.
They could have totally went with the Dead image there and come out, the brown acid, or fucking something along the lines of that, you know?
Yes.
Name it after different strains of weed or something, just to make it sound a little more authentic.
Yeah,
nobody's going to buy that.
Yeah, no, but none of their the Deadhead fans, none of the Grateful Dead fans are going to buy Working Man's. I'm sorry, not a single fucking one of them. You know. Well, anyways, apparently all are handmade in small batches using 100%. I didn't understand this either. Using 100% natural, vegan, edible ingredients.
Okay.
Because no amounts of LSD that you can consume prevents you from eating your deodorant.
Yeah, right.
Like, what the fuck, dude?
Hey, it doubles as a mouthwash.
Well, I guess Jesus. I mean, this is just ridiculous. So the North Coast Organic CEO Nathan Morin, he came out in a statement. And this is the company that's making it, right? Came out and said, "I have been a Deadhead since 1999. The Grateful Dead have inspired us to stay true to our main mission of social responsibility."
How are you going to be a Deadhead since 99? Didn't Jerry die in like 98?
He did, and then you know what?
Are you fucking kidding me?
And then they fucking they turned him into a fucking ice cream. Those goddamn hippies up in Vermont turned him into a flavor of ice cream. Right? What? And then there's assholes that are going around like selling like little bits of his ashes and like little fucking things that you hang around your neck. I had a friend of mine in high school that used to fucking be like, "Oh, dude, yeah, dude, I fucking," and then I saw him like 10 years later. And he had like this little pendant around his neck, and I'm like, that's kind of a cool pendant, I guess, right? What the fuck is that? And he's like, dude, it's like a mini urn. Dude, of what? Of what? Oh, it's like there's a couple of Jerry Garcia's ashes in here, dude.
Yeah.
Smoke weed every day.
It's Jerry Bear, man.
Oh God, what the fuck is wrong with these? I'm not a big fucking Grateful Dead fan at all, ever.
Yeah,
you know.
Same here, man.
But I mean, this is just absolutely stupid.
Yeah. It is, dude. It's absolutely. It's cashing in. I mean, they said when Jerry Garcia died that they had 10 or 15 years of audio where they could release a new Grateful Dead album every year, but I haven't seen one. That if they have released it, I don't know how the hell are you going to tour.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess I could have play an audio track and do like the Tupac fucking hologram type of deal, right? You know. But I mean, it's not like Jerry Garcia was a great performer. I mean, he was a great musician, but he wasn't a great performer. So it's like, so you're gonna have a fucking hologram of a guy just standing at a microphone holding a fucking guitar, right?
Yeah.
Oh, like, come on, dude, really?
If you're gonna just play the audio like that, man, just come to Austin, go down to 60. You'll find 15 guys that look just like Jerry Garcia. You don't even have to do a hologram.
Oh, abso-fucking-lutely. Jesus.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
You know, the only Grateful Dead story I have that has anything to do with the Dead was the day Jerry died. Me and my brother ate mushrooms and went out to the lake.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, we're like, fucking Jerry does eat some mushrooms, man. And all I remember, there was a rope swing, and I remember I was laying in the water. My brother went off on the rope swing, and he comes flying right at me, and I was so high. I was like, I think I need to move, but I don't want to move. And he just wham, landed right on top of me, man.
Oh, that's nasty.
Yeah, fucking A, man. Well, hey, Shannon. Well. This has been our news for the day. It must just be a slow news day or something. Not much going on in the world, I guess. That does it for our news for Fucked Up Friday on July 4th weekend, guys. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a mandatory commercial break because we do have to fucking cash in a couple of bucks bucks, and I'd say a couple of bucks, I mean like 25 cents here and there on the sponsors. And then when we come back, I am going to sit down with Shannon here, and we're going to get to know him a little bit better, in kind of a long form interview, something that a lot of people don't really get to do much. So I encourage you to stick around and hang out with us, and we'll be back in about 3 minutes and 15 seconds ish or whatever, if you're really fucking counting. Just, you got time to go to the bathroom, go take a piss, do what you got to do, get another beer, get another shot, whatever you got to do, and we'll be right back, guys.
Hey guys, this is your buddy Craig, the Ferg Doggy, hanging out here at the GFY Social Club. Just want to talk to you guys for a minute about Anchor.fm. If you're like us and want to start a podcast during these tumultuous times, I mean, honestly, is there anything we need more right now than more podcasts? I think that's what's going to heal us as a country right now in these trying times, more podcasts. So you go on Anchor FM, and it's a one-stop shop, guys, for all your podcasting needs. They have creation tools. It's all right there. It's all right there. The best part about it is they pay you. All right? And if most of you are like me, you're lazy pieces of shit who are on unemployment right now. Okay? We don't want to go back to work. And you know, that extra $600 from the government is gonna run out at some point. And you can get some extra money in your pocket just from using Anchor.fm. So here's what you do. You just go download the free Anchor app, or you go to Anchor.fm, and then you just get drunk and rant into a microphone like me and Mike do twice a week at the GFY Social Club. # join the club.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Mike with the GFY Social Club. You guys hate Facebook? Do you? I think Facebook's annoying. You've heard me rant and complain about social media nonstop, but I gotta tell you though, there's one spot on Facebook you can go to that's really cool. Yeah, it's called @GFY Social Club. Yeah, go check out our page. Give it a like. You know? Give it the old thumbs up. Start following us. Let me tell you why. We're going to start having articles up there. Ridiculous news stories that we don't get to on the show. If you missed the show for whatever reason, we'll have all the links for the shows that you missed. It's up there every time. And also, you can't forget ridiculous pictures that we're going to find and we're going to put up there that we're going to make fun of. So, you know what? If you want a little distraction from all the garbage that's on Facebook on a regular basis, well, then go ahead and give it a like, give it a follow @GFY Social Club on the Facebook page, and spread the word. Spread the word to your friends. Spread the word to your family. Spread the word to your significant other. Let them know how awesome the GFY Social Club is, and tell them to #join the club @GFY Social Club on social media. That's on Facebook, of course. And yeah, join the club.
It's Facebook. Sucks. It's Facebook. Nah, 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 nah. They wreck my page with their constant changes, and I hate them, but I can't stay away.
Oh, yeah, and we're back. That's right. Second half of the GFY Social Club, episode number 8 with Shannon Mugradge. Fucked up Friday, guys. July 4th weekend. It's Friday. Why are you, first off, why are you listening to a fucking podcast while you're hanging out with all your friends and shit like that, barbecuing, grilling, drinking beers, taking shots? Oh, you know why? Because it's #join the club. It's the GFY Social Club. We're having a great time. We're fucking we're telling some jokes and making fun of the stupid shit that's going on in the world right now. And as I said at the beginning of the show, at the top of the hour, I have my good friend Shannon Mugradge here. He's a He's a local comedian here in Austin, Texas, and I want you guys to get to know him because one thing we like to do on the GFY Social Club is because it's a comedy-based show, guys. We want to get you to know some of the comics and stuff like that are going to be up and coming, names that you're probably going to hear in like 4, 5, 6 years down the road, either in Netflix specials or something. Comics that are fucking funny. That's it. Comics that are funny. And that's why I got my good friend Shannon Mugradge co-hosting with me tonight. So, Shannon.
Yeah.
Let's get to know you a little bit, man. Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah, whatever. Of course, man. So you're a comic here in Austin, Texas. One thing that kind of separates you from a lot of the comics here, you're around my age, so we're, as we would call, distinguished older gentlemen, right? we're not like in our early to mid 20s, and not saying that there's anything wrong with those kids, but I mean we have a little bit more life experience, I guess you could say, right. Especially you. Because you were in the Navy, as we mentioned earlier here in the podcast. How long were you in the Navy for?
I was in the Navy for 7 years, 1 month, and 7 days.
7 years, 1 month, and 7 days. You have it down to a fucking... How many hours? How many hours and minutes?
It's on your paperwork when you get out. I just memorized it for some reason.
That's cool.
I joined in 2003. I tried to join in 2001, right after 9/11. That was a big thing for me. You know, it was
sure.
Right after that happened. It wasn't that I hated Muslims or anything like that. I wanted to go kill bad guys. I wanted to go bring it back to the guys that brought it over here. You know, and I went to the recruiter. I went to the Marines first, and whenever they ran my background, they're like, "Are you on probation?" I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "You can't join the military on probation anymore. You can't do that." So I had to wait till I got off paper before I could go in, and then it took me a while to get in then because I got a lot of trouble. Well, I lived in Austin, so that pretty much sums it up in my 20s. And come to find out, I got arrested 9 times in about 7 years.
Jesus Christ!
I didn't know that, but yeah, no, I did. I was always in school, man, and. So I finally got in and ended up going in March of 2003 and did a deployment to the Middle East and did 2 TAD assignments to the Middle East where they flew me over there to work on the ships.
Okay.
So in total, I spent probably about 8 months out of my life in the Persian Gulf.
Nice.
And then 3 years on a ship and 3 years on shore duty.
Cool. So you said you were on a ship for 3 years. What did you actually do? And like, what was? I'm not going to get into your job title because I don't even know like the E3, E4 and stuff like. I mean, I've got friends that are in the military and stuff like that, so I'm not good with the actual job codes. But what was your main? I got a friend of mine that used to work in submarines. So what was your main focus? Like, what kind of boat? What kind of duty were you?
I was on an aircraft carrier. I was on the USS Nimitz.
Oh, shit! No kidding.
Yeah, and that's awesome. The thing is, it's with the Navy, you have what's called a rate. That's your job. Mm-hmm. And so my rate was an interior communications electrician.
Okay.
So basically, if it had electrons flown through it, I worked on it. I fixed it. So
okay.
It was I worked all over that ship. And the thing is, man, I was on that ship for 3 years, and even after 2.5, I would get called to work on something in the space, and I'd walk in and be like, I had no idea the space even existed. I've been on the ship almost 3 years and had no idea this was here. It's so big. I mean, it's if you've never seen an aircraft carrier, it's just it's impossible to explain how big they are, man. And then,
dude.
You know, as I've gotten older, I've told my wife before, you know, I'm 44 now, and but when I went in the Navy, I was 27. I got to the ship, I was 28, and I just walked onto this floating piece of metal that was full of fuel and bombs and 2 nuclear reactors, and just assumed it was going to float, and and just assumed nothing was ever going to go wrong. Now at 44, I'd be like, I don't know if that's a good idea.
Sure, right.
There's just too many things that could go wrong here, man. And even Simply Courtney, he asked me a question about stand-up once. He's like, I bet you never get nervous doing stand-up after serving in the military. I was like, no, I still get nervous. It's a different kind of nervous. But he's like, what's one of the most fucked up things that ever happened to you on this ship? And I was like, well, we were doing an unrep. And an unrep is whenever you pull alongside a supply ship and then you throw lines to each other. We take on jet fuel from them, and they send food and bombs and everything else over. And one day I'm standing there, and we're doing an unrep, and this pallet full of bombs is coming across to us, and the breaker trips. So we're going, and the thing is, you're not stopping when you're doing this. Both ships are going 13 knots side by side through the middle of the ocean.
That's fucking.
So we're going. We're going 13 knots, which is
moving
slow
along.
for an aircraft carrier. Yeah, but there's a whole pallet of bombs on a wire just swinging between us. And, I would like to say that I'm 99.9% sure that they weren't armed. I mean, I would assume that they weren't, but it is the government. So you don't ever assume anything. So I'm standing there watching these bombs just swaying in the wind right between us, man. And these pallets they got, man, there's probably about 20, 25 bombs on these pallets.
Okay.
And, it's pretty intimidating when you look at it, Sure. And so I had to run downstairs and find the load center that controlled that breaker and reset the breaker and get it going again.
Yep.
And he's like, "You get an award for that?" I'm like, "No, you don't get awards for doing your job." But
yeah, you get to do your job. That's what you have to do. So all right. So I know I don't even have to ask this question. Seeing how you're telling us about bombs swinging back and forth, and you're just sitting there being like, yeah, whatever. But how the fuck did you get into comedy?
Yeah, right. I don't know. What? I really don't, because it was never like a goal of mine to do stand up. I always loved stand up. Me and my dad got me into Cheech and Chong and Robin Williams and all the greats. But
sure,
I never once said, "I'm going to do stand up one day." It was just me and Amy. When I got out of the Navy, I'd been out, and I'd probably been out about 5 years, and. I told her I used to go to Cap City. I lived in Austin before I went in the Navy. I used to go to Cap City to the open mic.
Club.
And
great club.
I told her I just used to go to watch. And I told her one night, I was like, "Let's go to the open mic." And she's like, "Okay." So we went to the open mic, and then we went the next weekend. And then we went the next weekend. On the third weekend, when we were leaving, I told her, "You know what? I'm going to email and try to do this next week." And she's all, "What?" and I ended up doing it. And I got accepted the first time at Cap City, which I don't know how the hell I got. I try to get on now, and I go 4 weeks, 5 weeks without getting on.
I know how that goes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's awesome, man. But
I think they're very receptive to first timers. I do. I think they're
the very first time. Yeah,
I think they're receptive to first timers.
Yeah.
I think they assume that you're never going to come back and take that kind of abuse again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is a good way to weed them out, man.
It is.
But I was nervous as hell, and I had written a set, and I call that a set. Now, if I looked at it, I would probably laugh at it.
Sure.
But
in a bad way.
I went up. Yeah, in a bad way, yeah. But right before I went up, man, standing there behind the curtain, and I was just thinking to myself, the door's right by the curtain.
Yep.
And I was like, man, I can just leave. You don't have to do this. The door's right there. Then I realized that Amy had the keys to the car, so where the hell was I going to go?
So you were committed by the fact that she was driving.
Yeah. And so I kind of calmed down a little bit, but then I looked over at the wall, and they got that picture of Bill Hicks, and just instantly all I thought was, it's just a ride.
Yes.
And so Hicks. I went up, and dude, my first joke, it bombed so bad.
Yeah, of course.
It was like, it was so bad. And then on top of that, I was holding the mic wrong, and I was mumbling, and I got a deep voice to begin with. And, it didn't get not even a sympathy laugh, nothing, dude. And so I just looked up. I kind of looked up, and I was like, well, that one hit better at the house. And I got a good laugh. But then I just scrapped what I had, and I just went on a fucking tangent, and I had a great set. And I got laughs I ran the light like a motherfucker.
Of course.
But
you always do that.
Yeah, oh, yeah, no, man. But I had a great set.
Done that so many times.
I was just hooked after that. Just completely hooked.
That's awesome. So you mentioned Bill Hicks. So I know he's definitely one of your idols. I mean, do you have anybody else that kind of pushed you into getting into comedy, or is there anybody else that when you you and I you're a few years older than me, obviously, but I mean, is there anybody that you saw where you're just like, I can do this. Like, I love this fucking comic, and I can do what he does at some point.
Now,
is there anybody that's like, who are your idols?
Yes. Now, yes. But before that, no, man. I was one of those people that thought that comics came up and just riffed the whole time. You know, I never realized that it, you know, it was a practice set that they, formalized, and they did it over and over and over and over. And that was one of the hardest things for me when I started doing stand-up. I hated doing a set twice. I hated it. It drove me nuts. But I do it all the time now, but because you have to.
Yeah,
but no, man, growing up, it was Bill Hicks, George Carlin, and Cheech and Chong. I mean, it mainly did. I watched Carlin a lot. Carlin was always there. 'Cause my dad loved Carlin.
Legend.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I tried something. That he was known for recently, and it fucking killed, man. It just instead of coming out and just kind of slowly getting into it, just come out and tell a joke that punches the crowd in the face from the jump.
Right off the bat,
straight up, just punch him in the face.
First 10 to 15 seconds, right?
I did that.
First 10 to 15 seconds, hit somebody in the
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's what I did, and it was that joke that I sent you about the Cowboys.
Yes, that was great. I remember you texting me that, and I was like, "Yeah, do it." That's awesome.
And it killed. It killed. It was Cowboys country too, and it killed. I had a great set because it set up my entire set. So.
Well, we're gonna get into sports here because I know you are a big sports fan coming up, but we are gonna fuck the Cowboys as a Patriots fan. I will say that. And I know you say that too because you're not a Cowboys fan. So, so I will just.
Me and my dad used to watch the Cowboys just to watch them lose. That was our thing, man.
Who doesn't love watching the Cowboys lose? Like, I mean, seriously, who doesn't love watching them lose? So you mentioned that you went out of town and you did that. I remember you telling me you're like, I'm going out of town to do this one show, and I'm going to drop this Cowboys. But I got to ask you. I know you've done FCIT, funniest comic in Texas, and you actually advanced. I gotta ask you, since you've done a lot of stuff like outside of Austin, outside of where you started, even though you're just over like a year and a half in, something like that.
Yeah, actually, July will be 2 years.
2 years. So you're all right. So you're coming up on your comedy birthday. I actually just bashed my comedy birthday 2 weeks ago, so I'm with you on that one. But I got to ask you, what is your what are some of your favorite places to perform? I know you did really well in San Antonio. I know you've done Laredo quite a bit. What are some of your favorite towns to go to, to actually perform comedy in?
It's San Antonio. I absolutely love San Antonio.
You love San Antonio.
I have such a good time every time I go to San Antonio. Man, I had a great set. And the people there, it's just a different scene. And Laredo's great too. I've done Laredo twice, and I love going down to Laredo. Mm-hmm. And I just like getting out of Austin. It's I love Austin. It's going to always be where I started. But
I'm with you.
I like to get out. Yeah, I like to get out and see the different scenes and the different attitudes. Because there's jokes you can't tell in Austin that you can tell in Laredo. There's jokes you can't. I don't know. There's pretty much, you can pretty much say anything in Laredo. They don't give a shit.
Noted. Seeing my style of comedy, so I'm noted.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you did San Francisco, right?
Yeah, I've done. I see. Here's the thing. I kind of I mean, this isn't really about me. So, but I have done several other towns. Not so much in Austin. I've done multiple different places like Key West, Alabama, fucking Pensacola, Hawaii, San Francisco, L.A. I like to travel. I like to try to get stage time every time I go out of town. Either for vacation or for work or whatever. I always try to get some stage time. And that's what's allowed me to see all these different cities and stuff like that. But that I haven't got to try Laredo. But I mean, back to you. I mean, with the FCIT thing, that that had to be fucking awesome, right? Because, like, I mean, the comedy contests in general are kind of stupid, and most comics know that comedy contests are just kind of like, well, you know, I'm going to get a good tape on like a nice stage with like a good crowd for the most part, but and you know, if you happen to advance, you happen to win, that's cool, but you happen to advance on a night where literally nobody knew who the fuck you were.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Nobody.
Aaron Suarez, one of my best friends out of Laredo, man, he was there. He advanced that night too.
Yes, and I've seen Aaron Suarez. He's a great comic.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
No, but he was there with another Laredo comic, Eric Parra. And when they were driving up, they saw the list and they thought I was a girl. And Eric was like, "Man, I hope she's hot." And so when they showed up, Aaron told me that, and I was like, "Well, what do you think?"
That's awesome. And you know, I've had that conversation multiple times where it's like, I've got a girl's name, big fucking deal, you know. Yeah, Shannon. Yes, I know, my name is Shannon. Fucking thank you very much. We had this conversation the other day about another comic, but I'm not even going to get into that. But
but with San Antonio though, when I showed up, the way that they do that is you get judged by the crowd. There is no panel of judges.
Yes.
So nobody there knew. Actually, George Anthony was there, and who else? There was one other person, but they were performing. They weren't in the crowd. So yeah, I went up, and the guy that went up before me had a bad set. Man, he's a good friend of mine too. I don't want to drop his name.
No,
right
don't
now,
need to.
He had a bad. It happens. He just had a bad set, man.
We all have.
When I was going up, the guy running it, Al Gonzalez, he was like, "Hey man, I can't do any time in between, so I need you to go up there and get the room back." And I was like, "Cool, I got it, man." And I went up, and I had
brought him back.
Greatest set. It was such a great set.
Awesome.
And then when I advanced, that friend of mine that had the bad set, he was the first one to run up to me and give me a bear hug and lift me off the ground. You know? So it was, you know, like I said, he just had a bad set. It happens, and it just sucks that it happened on the night of a competition too. But no, I did not expect to advance at all, and when I did, I just stood there, man. And Angelo Vecchio was like, "Hey, dude, you're supposed to go on stage now." I was like, "Oh shit!"
Well, I like obviously. Go ahead.
I was gonna say what you were talking about earlier about getting a good tape.
Yes,
that would have been like the perfect tape, dude. But the guy that was recording, I went up to him afterwards. I was like, "Hey, man, I don't care what it cost." I was like, "How much is that video?" He's like, "Oh, you didn't ask me to record you." I was like, "What the fuck, dude?
Are you fucking kidding me?"
So I don't have the video for it.
Son of a bitch. I try not to drop sound drops in the fucking interview segment, but I had to. You didn't. You had one fucking job.
Yeah, exactly.
You had one fucking job.
What would you say you do here?
Jesus Christ.
And then I would have paid $50 for that video because it was a great set.
And that's a great club too.
That would have been a perfect. Yeah, that would have been a perfect festival video to submit.
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. So I know you've submitted to a bunch of festivals and stuff like that. And I know that's coming up for you next. Of course, fucking COVID-19 shuts everything down, which sucks. But I know that you guys are like. Your lovely wife Amy, she's running shows and stuff like that, and I know you guys have like a lot of really like badass venues around here and stuff like that. Like, how hard is it to like fucking sit there and like know that you have a bunch of shows coming up and then everything just gets shut down because of the COVID? It's gotta suck,
dude. It really was, because we were talking with someone in San Antonio and someone in Dallas, so we could expand to San Antonio and Dallas and start doing shows there too. And we were going to make our way down to Houston and Corpus and a few other places to try to start booking showcases. And that way we get Austin comics to different places and bring other comics into Austin, you know, just get this whole, you know, circle going. And we had it going, man. We were doing really good and just done.
Yep.
And You know, you're talking about with festivals. I had one that I applied for that just hit me up. And,
do you ever feel? Let me interrupt you for a second. Do you ever feel like some of these festivals, like the one? I mean, I do the same thing. I apply to a shitload of them, and you know, I PayPal my fee and all that stuff. Do you ever feel like you're just a GoFundMe for some asshole running a fucking festival, and he just he's just trying to make his rent for the month, and just and when I say rent for the month, I mean just like pay his mom $300 because he's still living in his mom's basement. You know what I mean?
He's just gonna book his friends anyway.
I'll get you in touch with a very good friend of mine, Pam, out in San Francisco. She runs a great comedy festival every year. I'll get you in touch with her, and we'll get you out there. And fuck it, you and me, we'll hang out there next year in San Francisco. It'll be a lot of fun. That sounds great, man. Now, what I was saying about the festivals. I had one that I applied to, and they hit me up recently, and they said, the festival's been canceled, and we're not refunding money, but if you want to apply next year, your fees are already paid. I'm like, you motherfucker, are you serious? That's the key. Yeah, we're not refunding your money, but
we're keeping all the money, and if you want to get in next year, it's free. And like, how am I?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, what do you think? I mean, even remember your festival next year? You know?
Yeah, I played at so many that it's just like, I'm used to fucking rejection. Like, no, maybe, no. And that's what I end up fucking hearing. But that's okay because, I mean, at least you're trying to get that going. So, but I know
one of my. I set some goals this year on my New Year's resolutions for comedy.
Sure.
I wanted to go up at least 6 or 7 times a week. That was a goal, and I was doing that. I was hitting that easy with showcases and mics, and I wanted to do a spot at a comedy club, and I got that. I got a 5-minute spot at Jokesters right before the shutdown.
Beautiful. That's a good club.
But what's that?
That's a good club down there in San Antonio. Jokesters 22. Yeah, that's a great club.
Yeah, I love that club, man.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there a couple times, and it's just a blast every time, man.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Then the third goal was to get on a festival, and they had that. Whenever Gabe and Zach had that one festival, they threw together real fast. Or Gabe and Colton and all them had that one they threw together really fast, right when the shutdown happened.
South by Southwest last minute. Yeah.
And they put me on. I was going to be doing 5 minutes at Velve, and so I would have hit all 3 of them comedy goals for the year. But then all that, of course, everybody knows what happened. So,
well, I think a lot of things are going to start opening up. Once all this stuff goes through, I think a lot of stuff is going to start opening up pretty soon, and things are going to. I don't want to say they're going to get back to normal, but I feel like they are going to get not too far off from, because I know that a lot of comedy clubs were opening up. Well,
I mean, I was reading an article the other day talking about pandemics of the past or diseases of the past, and one thing, I'm not a big fan of Donald Trump, but he likes to say that it's just going to disappear. That's exactly what happened to Spanish flu. It just disappeared.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
People quit getting sick. It took 2.5 years, but it just disappeared.
Right.
But then you had my aunt was one of the people that caught polio when she was a kid.
Sure.
And she lost the use of her legs at a young age.
Yes.
And so this stuff hits generations, man. It does happen, but it just whenever you've never really been through it, it just seems like it's going to take forever. I was telling Amy today, I was like, this is going to pass one day. There's either going to be a vaccine or it's just going to disappear. One of the two.
Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah. One or the other, man. Well, I mean, is there anything that you'd like to plug? Since I mean, we're all kind of in a downtime right now, but there's a lot of comics that are putting out content, and I mean, is there anything that you'd like to plug so that way people can actually follow you when comedy starts like coming back and everything like that, and we start getting live events going? Any like social media handles, any kind of content that you're putting out or anything like that? Is there anything that you'd like to plug? This is your time to go ahead and just like put that out. Like anybody who wants to follow Shannon Mugradge.
I mean, I'm semi-active on Twitter. I really need to up my game on Twitter.
Fuck Twitter's a pain in the ass. I'm with you on that one.
It is, man. But we have my personal one, and then we also have the Turn 2 Entertainment on Twitter that we haven't done anything with recently, obviously.
Sure.
I'm working with some other guys trying to get some skits together. We're going to try to do that. And then other than that, man, it's just kind of getting booked. It's one of those things that when it happens, it happens.
Sure.
You know, like I'm booked for a show July 25th at Castro's down in Lakeway, but I don't know if that's
nice.
I don't know if that's still going to happen.
Lakeway, Texas.
Yeah, Lakeway, Texas. Yeah, there was another. There's another comic that's a veteran. He was trying to do a 4th of July show, but I don't know if that's going to happen now.
Okay.
But it's just, man, right now trying to plug yourself.
It's one of those times, man. It's running ragged for all of us. So I know how you feel. Like I mentioned to you earlier, I started recording fucking lyrics to a song earlier tonight that we may actually have fucking coming up on Sunday night. So I may start the episode out on Sunday night with the new Mike Hudak song. But no, all right. So if we can find you on Facebook, it's Shannon Mugridge, Turn 2 Entertainment, correct? Instagram, Twitter, at Turn 2 Entertainment. Is that correct?
Yeah, the Instagram. Well, Ben Horn does the Instagram for us because he's younger than me.
Of course, he's got all that fucking free time.
Yeah, he understands it a little better. Yeah, the Twitter, man, my Twitter game is kind of. I have 11,000 followers on Twider. I've
got like 30. So you're doing much better than me.
No, I use Twitter.
Throw some of them my way.
If you follow me on Facebook and Twitter, you'll notice that I learned this from other comics. And you have a short little one-liner, you throw it out on Twitter, see how it does, or throw it out on Facebook, see how it does, and then you use it on stage, or you fine-tune it, then use it on stage. So that's what I use it for the most. But even with 11,000 followers, I'll post something, I'll get like 30 likes.
There you go.
11,000 fuckers.
Well, make sure you guys check him out. It's on Facebook, Shannon Mugrage. It's MUGRAGE, Mugrage. Shannon, like the girl's name, like you love to hear. I bet you hear that joke a lot. And Turn 2 Entertainment, guys. So at Turn 2 Entertainment, make sure you check him out. He's a very funny comic. He's a very good friend of mine, guys. I promise you won't be disappointed. He's actually one of my favorite storytelling comics that I know. Not too many comics can actually sit there and tell a story and actually punch it up and make it funny. Over the course of like a 10, 15, 20, 25-minute set. Shannon's actually gotten really good at that, and he's definitely a storytelling comic. A little bit different style than what you're probably used to as far as stand-up comedy, but he's definitely fucking funny. Definitely recommend you check him out. It's Shannon Mugridge on Facebook, and like I said, Turn 2 Entertainment. So thank you, Shannon, for the interview. I really appreciate you spending the time with me, man, hanging out with me here, even though it's virtual. Hanging out with me here tonight on a fucking Thursday night as we record this. So,
well, thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. I got to tell you, one of my favorites too is the fact that you don't give a shit that anybody.
I don't.
You tell jokes, you don't give a shit if anybody fucking likes it or not. That's one of the things I've always admired about you.
No, that's and that's what comedy's supposed to be. That's exactly what comedy is supposed to be. And you and I have had this conversation many times, so I know we're on the same page. But changing the page a little bit, I do know that you're a sports fan because you're a huge Houston fan, which as a Boston sports fan, I'm just kind of like, ugh. But that also means it's time for our weekly segment. We got a nice quick segment for you tonight because we are running a little over time, but we do have, it's Thursday in place of our booze reviews. We are doing sports. That's right. All right, so you texted me about this earlier. I mean, you were one of so many texts I got the other day because I said, I am a Boston fan. Cam Newton signs with the New England Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's hear it, Shannon. What are your thoughts?
Dude, his type of play with that offense is going to be interesting to watch.
Do you think
you put those kind of weapons around him? I mean, that's.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a gifted thrower per se. He's not bad, but dude, they signed him. They signed him on the same night as the biggest sports story of the week, where New England was going to get fined and docked a 3rd-round draft pick for Spygate Part 2.
I didn't even hear about that. I guess it got drowned out.
Yeah, well, that's why I think they did it. And look, you know me, I'm a fucking huge Patriots fan. Patriots fan. And they signed him on the same night as that NFL comes out with, we're docking him a 3rd-round draft pick and fining them $1.25 million. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't think Cam Newton's a replacement for Tom Brady. And when I saw the pictures of Tom Brady in a Buccaneers jersey, I wanted to puke.
Yeah, that's still weird. It's like like when you play Madden, and you ever play Madden and trade away all the players to make all the teams weird?
Yeah.
Like exactly what it feels like.
Oh, God damn it. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm a little torn right now as a Pats fan. I'm not rushing out to get my Cam Newton #1 jersey because I don't know if it might be another Tim Tebow where they brought him in and they're like, oh, we're going to sell a bunch of Tim Tebow #5 jerseys and then we're going to cut him and then Stidham's going to be. And I don't know what Stidham is yet, but he might be decent.
He was solid in college, man, and he started at Baylor, didn't he?
No. Auburn. They both came from Auburn.
Did he do time at Baylor?
No, I think he did time at another. I don't think it was Baylor. I can't remember where Stidham. He didn't do all 4 years at Auburn, but he transferred to Auburn. But he got all of his draft stock built up when he was at Auburn. He was actually. I mean, he was middle of the road, 3/4 decent college quarterback. He wasn't top tier quarterback. I mean, but out of all the college quarterbacks, which one of them that are top tier actually end up becoming great quality, like great NFL quarterbacks? I mean, of course, you're a Houston Texans fan, right?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, kind of. So Deshaun Watson, I fucking love Deshaun Watson, even though I'm a Florida State fan and I hate Clemson. Fucking Deshaun Watson's a great fucking quarterback. I think he's a phenomenal.
He's the real deal, man.
He is. So other than him, I can't really picture anybody else. It's like come out of college. It's like, oh, like even Jameis Winston when he came out of college as a Florida State fan, won the Heisman, came out and he threw 30 touchdowns last year, but he also threw 30 picks. So I don't know. It's just one of those things where I'm like, okay,
Well, New England took a guy in the 6th round that turned out to be pretty good.
Yeah, Tom Brady, 199th overall. So who knows?
I don't think the draft status is way overrated, man.
It is.
You know, there's some that go in the 1st round that live up to it, and like I said, there's some that go in the 6th round and become Hall of Famers. So you never know, man.
Yep.
I mean, the last team that you can really say, won it with draft picks would have been the Steelers in the 70s when they won all those Super Bowls. Those were all drafted players. None of them were free agents. They were drafted or traded.
Iron Curtain.
So they built that team, from the ground floor.
One of the nastiest fucking teams ever built was those 70s Steelers.
I met Terry Bradshaw once. I don't know if you've ever met him. He is one of the biggest human beings I've ever met in my life.
Oh, yeah. I believe it.
I have no idea how that dude ever got tackled.
Jesus Christ. Phenomenal fucking and not to mention he's the ultimate bald guy right now on all the I love Terry Bradshaw on the broadcast too, man. He's just I don't know what the fuck. I fucking love Terry Bradshaw. That's a horrible impersonation.
He's got a new TV show coming out. It's gonna be like the Redneck Osbournes, I guess.
Oh, no shit. That's awesome.
It's him and his family. Yeah, he's got 3 daughters, and they're all hot as shit too, man. So
Oh no shit! I'll have to check that one out.
So
I know you're a big.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. Yeah.
I know you're a big Houston Astros fan because I've seen you do the joke before about making fun of the Houston Astros and their fucking cheating scandal. What do you think about the 2020 minor league season getting canceled? Round Rock Express.
Because minor league is where, yeah, man. I was going to take my son to a baseball game this year. I've taken him to Longhorns baseball games, but I wanted to take, because we took him to a minor league game a few years ago, and, you know, here in Round Rock, they got the kids area. It's a big playground.
Sure.
They didn't want anything to do with the baseball game. You know, They wanted to play in the playground, so we missed the whole damn game.
Yep.
So this year I was going to take him to a game, you know, just me and him, do a dude's dining, and just go out to the baseball game.
Yep.
And now that's done.
That sucks,
man. Because minor league, I've had more fun. I've been to my fair share of major league games, but I have more fun at minor league games.
Minor league games are where, dude, that's where the shit's at. Like minor league games are a lot of fun. And then even when you get down into the independent leagues, which I guess because MLB is actually they're cutting back because of the minor league season getting canceled. They're cutting back on a lot of like the number of the affiliates that each MLB team has. I'm sure it's probably starting with like low A and like rookie ball and all this shit that, but they're cutting back on a lot of the affiliates, so a lot of those teams are going to end up going to like independent ball. Now if independent ball games are fucking, I mean, the baseball's not very good, obviously, because they're not like major league, they're not even minor league good enough, but like the games themselves are very entertaining. You know, it's like it's like almost a variety show with a baseball game going on. So I think that like canceling the entire fucking minor league baseball season is a huge loss, man, for like baseball fans. I mean, baseball, like Major League Baseball is only going to do a 60-game season, which is fucking insane.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pro fucking shorter baseball season, you know, just because I think 162 games is just a little too much. But I think that, you know, like cutting the fucking minor league season down to like maybe 30 games, 40 games, just let them get a season in, even though like even if people aren't able to get out to the games as much because of social distancing and all that stuff because of COVID, you should still have a little bit of a minor league season. You know, it gives them something to play for, trying to get to the Major League Baseball level. But that's just my personal fucking thing. How do you feel about hockey, man?
I mean, you know, I've never really gotten into hockey. I like going to hockey games, man. They're a blast to go to. My middle daughter, when she was 6 years old, man, we were looking for stuff that, you know, the kids would be interested in. I got tickets to the Stars game, the Stars here in Austin. And, man, she loved it, man. She was 6 years old. They're fighting against the glass, and she's all, yeah. I was like, okay, we found something she likes.
Dude, there's nothing like live hockey. Live hockey is the shit, man.
It is, man. The horns and just all the noises, the lights, the excitement, and you know, and the cool thing about it in Texas is you go, when it's 98 degrees outside, go into a hockey arena and chill for a couple hours. It's not too bad.
Right. And like whether it's NHL or fucking even minor league hockey, it's still a lot of fun to go see. But I guess the NHL has decided because they're going to restart the season because of COVID, they're eyeing Toronto and Edmonton as hub cities. Now, can you tell me why the fuck? I mean, I get that. Like hockey is it's a cold weather sport. Okay, I understand. Yeah. But they have teams in fucking Dallas and Arizona and LA and fucking Vegas and in Florida. Like there's two teams in Florida. Okay, so you've got teams that are in warm weather climates. Why are you going to pick two of the places that are like in the coldest weather climates it's July right now, but by the end of August, early September, it's going to start getting into almost winter conditions in fucking Edmonton, Canada. Why would you pick, if you just restarted, you're trying to restart your season due to COVID, why would you pick two of the coldest climates to restart your fucking hockey season? in areas where cold weather is going to probably produce more flu, more COVID, more like, what the fuck are you thinking? I get it. Yeah. You're a Canadian sport. You're a cold weather sport, but fuck. run warm climates. What do you think? Yeah. What do you think?
No, I think you're onto something there.
It frustrates the fuck out of me.
At all. And then on top of that, you got to travel. Most Americans aren't allowed to leave the country right now.
Right.
You know, so they're going to have to quarantine them until they can leave the country. I don't know how they're going to pull that off.
14 days at a time, right?
Yeah,
fuck,
right.
Man. Just drives me nuts, man. Fucking NHL. Way to go. NHL, you get the Boner of the Week award. What the fuck, dude? Well, that's our sports segment, guys. It wasn't really much for news. It's just more venting frustration with the goddamn sports.
There is one sports story you didn't bring up, though, man.
What's that?
The Yankees got caught cheating.
They did. Yes. They are going to get into the same boat that the Red Sox and the Houston Astros got caught in.
And the Astros. No, see, the Yankees were the biggest shit talkers when the Astros got caught.
They were.
Yeah, they were just talking shit on Twitter, posting all kinds of stuff, and the Astros had a field day with that shit, man. The players were posting all kinds of funny shit. But it's one of those things, like when you're a baseball fan, if you're not stealing signs of baseball, you're not trying.
Yeah.
You know,
if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
You know?
I agree.
But Astros took it a little too far. I'll give it that. I'm not. but everybody, you know, and as an Astros fan, if you say everybody's doing it, it's like whenever New England with the, you know, all that stuff, and you try to say the same thing, you know, everybody else does it, and everybody's, oh, whatever, you got caught. You're like, no, everybody does it.
Everybody does it.
You got hundreds of millions of dollars on the line. People are going to do whatever they can to get that money.
You're trying to get that fucking. Man. You're trying to get that winning franchise. You're trying to win a World Series. You're trying to win the Super Bowl. You know.
Yeah, it's like a friend of mine was saying once that when A-Rod got caught with steroids, he was like, "I can't believe he did that." I was like, you know, that dude made over $500 million in baseball. So
there's a reason.
I'll tell you right now. If someone told me right now, I was like, look, man, you can do drugs, cut 10, 15 years off your life, but you'll make $500 million. I'd be like, what arm do you want to put it in?
Who wouldn't do that?
Fuck.
I'm with you on that one. Well, yeah, you know what? And to that, I say, because I am a Red Sox fan, I am a Boston guy, I do want to say, fuck the Yankees. That's right. And I'm sure the rest of the fucking country could say the same thing. Nobody likes the fucking Yankees unless you're from fucking New York. So
yeah, dude. They're the Cowboys of baseball.
At least they win championships, though. That's the only difference. Cowboys haven't been relevant in, like, what, 30 years? So.
I think I was in high school last time they were relevant. That was a long time ago.
Seriously. Well, fuck, man. Well, I mean, that pretty much does it for a show. Shannon, what do you got for 4th of July plans? Do you have anything coming up for the plans? Are you gonna grill out, do a little barbecuing, do a little celebrating and shit like that?
I just put a pool in the backyard and I drained it and I looked at it and
there you go.
I waited too long to fill it back up because now it's full of brown water, so I need to clean it again. So it's that's the next job is the pool, and I'll probably barbecue something, I'm sure.
Good shit, man. Fuck yeah, dude. And you said we can find you at Shannon Mugrage on Facebook. We can find you Turn to Entertainment, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And then hopefully once everything blows over, we can start getting some comedy stuff going again, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. That's the plan, man. I'm just ready to go up again, man. I know there's a lot of people that I've had comics tell me, like, well, nothing's funny right now, and you can't be going up. It's like, look, man, this is the time when comics need to be going up because George Carlin didn't stop talking whenever there was all kinds of stuff going on. Richard Pryor was one of the first comics to actually bring race to the forefront on comedy, you know. And
fuck yeah, dude.
you have a unique opportunity as a comic. You get a microphone for 10, 15, 20 minutes to talk about whatever the fuck you want.
Yep, and it's just you and the audience.
Exactly. You can bring awareness to any cause you want to, as long as you do it the proper way. You don't go up there and, fucking belittle the crowd and talk shit to them. I mean, but you can, there's things you can talk about and still make jokes about and be respectful, but you still bring awareness to that situation. And to not do it, you're just waving the white flag. And I've never been that guy.
Good.
So,
well, don't change whatever you do, because whatever you're doing, it's working. It's working well for you. Obviously, you're doing quite well for yourself right now, as far as getting everything going. Obviously, until all this stupid shit that the COVID stuff shut everything down. But stick with it. I just want to thank you, man. Thank you for being on the show. If there's anything else you'd like to plug, by all means, this is your time to do it.
No, I think we about covered it, man. But I appreciate you having me on, brother.
Well, fuck yeah, man. We really appreciate you having it on. I know that it was a day late because I did have to get some extra equipment and stuff like that, so we could get you on remote and get everything going. So it was sounding good and everything like that. But I do appreciate you hanging out with us tonight here. For the rest of you, as we always say, if you did enjoy your time here in the club tonight with me and my buddy Shannon, it'd be really cool if you hit that little thumbs up button, like, follow, subscribe. Make sure you follow us on social media. It's at GFY Social Club, Twitter, Facebook. We have a YouTube channel, GFY Social Club. We're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor.fm, Podbean, so many others. And we'll see you back here again on Monday night. Hey, Shannon, thanks for hanging out with us, bud.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Right on, man. We'll see you again on Monday night. So long, gay boys.